introduce you now. Hi, everybody. We are back again. We're with the lovely Claudio, and we're with our Patricia. And yeah, after I hang out with you and Marianne, we weren't here last time, but anyway, I hope everything's all right this time. We've just been talking to say hello to each other before we start this hangout, and I just wanted Claudio just to explain. It's about healing people. Go for it, Claudio.
All right. So we do know cannabis is being legalized throughout the whole world, which is incredible, which is meant to be, and it's supposed to happen. We've been growing our own and creating our own cannabis oil, and the best method, bar none, I got the studies from Pharmacopoeia, Italy, and those guys they don't listen to the government over there, as we all know, and they share this. So the best method is to extract into olive oil. Right, so an organic olive oil. So you need the whole plant, because the plant, any plant, the roots are the root chakra, and the flower is the head chakra, and everywhere in between. So you need the whole plant, including the seeds, pollen, if you can. So when you take that whole plant and you extract it into olive oil with heat, I just basically immerse a jar of olive oil with whole plant in it, right, and put it in boiling water, and you can do different varying time rates depending on whether people's tolerance on whether they want the pain relief from the THC, the one that gets converted for the high or not. But anyway, we've helped so many, and we do this for free. Never charged a penny, nor will we ever charge a penny, because nobody will ever think that we have an angle. So we've reversed stage 4 liver cancer. We reversed different cancers, all kinds of skin cancers. Canceled the knee surgeries, canceled Crohn's disease operations where they're going to put the bag on, you name it. Taken 90-year-olds off of all their pills and are now hopping around baking Christmas cookies, on and on and on. So if anybody wants to go to my website at udemy.com/oil extract, we show you how to make it. You need about $80 worth of kitchen equipment. It's so simple. It's easier than baking. And then also in there, we can show you, if you look in the middle of the screen when you go to my website, it tells you how to dosage, because everybody's different. Like I do it what's called the second press. I put all the material in, boil it for 6 hours, press it, and then put oil back in it, put it back in for an hour, and press it again to get what's left. I only take second press now. My wife takes 2.5 teaspoons of the first press, and I only take the second press. So eventually, it's not addictive. You start to go down on how much you want to take. You're only, when you extract into olive oil, you're extracting good fats into good fats. I got to digress for a little bit. Alcohol is called spirits. We know alcohol can extract oils from cannabis. So that's why alcohol is actually a spirit stripper. So the oils are the spirit. So when you get drunk, it strips your spirits. You feel good because it's taking the oils in your body and it's passing them around through your body. That's why you're feeling good. But then you feel like shit in the morning because you've just lost all your spirits or your oils. So you need to replenish.
Claudia, what do you say to people? Some people say that oils are bad for you. I mean, oil in general.
Right. Well, if you're going to get the GMO oils, of course. Everything that I'm saying to you, you got to use an organic olive oil. We grow our plants ourselves in Canada, right? Of course, it's always been legal, but of course they'll tell you it's not. But anyway, so we grow the plant ourselves. It's so simple. You pull the whole plant, you hang it upside down. The plant stays alive because the roots are still there. You let it dry just to prove a point about this mold thing, because these people that are forced growing, they got all kinds of molds and everything growing because they're growing indoor. They're growing inorganically. They're growing with pesticides, herbicides. Canada allows it like every other country, and it's all about making money. You can hang that plant. We had a plant hanging in our garage, which we get very cold winters, and we get humid 100-degree days in the summertime, and that plant's gone through 3 cycles of humidity and cold. As long as the roots are still on it, it doesn't mold, and it still preserves all the oils in the plant. So it's real simple to grow. It's real simple to make. We'll teach anybody. We'll show you. We can introduce you to 90-year-olds that are taking it, and it does 100% work. It's made with love, and it works. and it has no prejudice. In other words, well, I got this cancer, or I got this. This is different. The doctors are telling me. Well, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but the doctors, their books are nothing but how to teach you how to sell pharmaceutical. Okay, so I'm going to digress even further. A friend of a friend, through Kathy, we were over at a party. It was a going away party, and we're all sitting around the next morning. We're all feeling really good, and it's almost like a spotlight came on the both of us. And she needed to tell me something. And that something was, she says, do you really understand what's going on in the world right now, Claudio? And I said, absolutely, I do. Been down the rabbit hole, right? So she says, no, you don't get it. She says, my parents own all, and I know this happens, but now it's nice to see. My parents own all the universities and all the hospitals in one of the provinces in Ontario. So they control all the books, all the studies, everything that goes in to ensure that pharmaceutical is number one, and they continue and always.
Unfortunately.
She said, my parents
so.
don't understand why I want to disown them. They're throwing money at her and everything else. And she's like, no, you guys are sick. I don't want to be a part of you. So we do know that it's about money and greed that makes us ill. So if you make stuff with love and give it for free, it works even better. It helps the placebo system.
Yeah.
The placebo system in your body is a reality, right? And it all fits in with metaphysics. If you watch the videos that I'm making, it's all part and parcel. And this is not just me. I always say this all the time because it's about everybody learning something and piecing it all together. When it has to do with love and you're doing it for the right reasons, it is special and it heals. And we can attest to that because other people try to make the oil and they're doing it a little bit differently. And they're doing this and they're doing that and it doesn't work for them. Well, why? And number one thing I always tell everybody, you can get it from me and we'll give you the material and we'll teach you how to make it. But so long as you always give it to somebody for free, then you're always welcome to have ours.
That's really kind of you. Thank you so much for explaining that. And that's hopefully Amy will be listening in for that one if I haven't already given you her email address, your email address.
Right.
Thank you so much for explaining that because that was extra to what we've come to talk about. But thank you so much for that.
It's important.
Thank you. So you're here to talk about?
Well, I would really love, because I've made some videos that I think are really important. I'd love to play them for you and then have you guys, stop and ask questions. Because to me, number one, just talking in general, people seem to follow better when you're showing them pictures and showing them things that to me mean proof and are like undeniable.
I would say this, Claudio, by the way, although we're recording this hangout privately right now, and I know that some of the chat room really would like it if these could be live so that you're sort of interacting, but most people on the hangout can't do a hangout and do the chat room, but there will be a chat room that's live, so whatever you show, you can be in the chat room, and then anybody asks a question or whatever, then you can answer them.
Oh no, 100%.
So it's a bit more relaxing, isn't it? That because
I agree.
You're on the hangout talking about it now, and then you can be in the chat room talking with them when you're watching it.
100%. I agree, and then it gives them a chance to hear you guys ask questions, right? And also have an opportunity to them ask questions, and then they can be answered at any time. I agree. This is really cool. I like it.
Okay, this is when if me and Patricia look like dumpsies if we don't ask the right questions.
No, because it's that, and that's the whole test of the videos that I'm putting out, because I'm trying to put a message out, and you can't make it too long because you're going to put people to sleep. So this is a test for me to see if you understand the message I'm trying to get across. So this is helping me.
Okay, then.
Because it helps me to help other people, because there's a message that I think is really important. And like I said, I'm going to be writing an ebook, free ebook on my experiences, because I've had luminary experiences. They wake me up to teach me this stuff. It's crazy. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. They're telling me you're supposed to be doing this. We're not We're supposed to be looking up in the sky, not on the TV. There's a reason why the the moths and all these bugs go at a light at the end in nighttime and end up burning themselves in a light bulb, because they're trying to follow the light. And man-made light is confusing people. So we're not looking at the stars. We're not looking at the moon. We're looking at like the sun and moon family united. There's a reason for that name. We're not looking in the right spot because the communication comes from the lights.
Do you know what? Do you know one of the reasons probably why as well? Because what it is, well, just because we don't even know what history is anymore, but just say 100 years ago, people lived a bit more rurally, or when people looked out their windows, there might have just been fields and the sky. Right. Now, Patricia hardly sees the moon because of where her flat is, and the other buildings obscure it.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe that's why they want, one of the reasons they want us in towns, so that the buildings obscure the night sky, and then over a couple of generations, no one's then, they're not interested in looking up, are they? Because that's how they do it.
Right. So I want to throw this at you because.
You know what I mean, though? If you're in the country,
I'm gonna speak metaphysically now. Is it that what they want, or is it that we want? We always want to go toward the lights, the glimmer and the glamour, and we all want to live like a queen, right? We want to live like a king, but we already have it. We're going towards these lights that are man-made. So is it an attraction by someone else, or is it our attraction? Is it our manifestation? You really got to think of it that way. And that's what one of the videos I'm going to try to get across is that we get what we want because we're manifestors.
Do you know one thing though, Claudio, before you start? If people don't know who they are or what they want, if everybody believes it's an outer thing that gets them everywhere, so like, a car, a holiday, the television, rather than it's an inner thing, then they're never going to get it because they won't get it and they won't trust anything to get it.
Right.
You've got to know who you are and what you want to start with, and then the rest starts. It just, yeah. Right. That's what I think. Because that's one of the reasons they don't look. And also, don't forget the television has funneled them into what they think they want. Right.
So because we're going in this direction, I'm gonna change what I had planned because it's almost.
Oh no.
No. I'm gonna have the same plan, but just the order I'm talking about because it's interesting. I made a video what's called "Seeing Self in What Is Not Self," right? And this is part of metaphysics. And I'm pulling it up right now and then I'll share it. And because I want you to ask questions, because learning what I've learned, and Ken Wheeler, like I tell you, like I know his demeanor, his look and everything else, he is the smartest man that I know that has studied and has been given the grace of knowledge and wisdom of what the ancients have done. So it's quite invigorating. Do I still have you? Did I lose you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. We're here.
Yeah, okay. It's quite invigorating when things piece together, and it can't be any other way. And I know I keep saying that a lot, but when I don't want to call it math, but when everything just fits, and everything else is like it can't even come into this reality. It's an invigorating thing. I've been following him and studying him for 5 years now, but he's much more coming up with the metaphysics stuff recently. He does have earlier writings. It's invigorating, and that's who all these Platonists were, the Pythagoreans, the monads, the Freemasons were real people, were sharing the truth, got taken over by tyrants. The Romans were, and I can prove all that, and it's all in the glyphs. So anyway, I'm going to start. I'd like to start with this one video, and it's metaphysics, right? And it's real simple. It's only 6 minutes.
Okay, I'll share this. I'll put your icon as the main icon on there now.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about sharing the link.
Okay. Now, do I have to open up? Okay, I'm not good at this, so I'm going to.
If you go on this one, because this is a different panel, if you go to the right-hand side, there should be 3 little bars, and you click that, and it should say share screen.
Yep.
I much prefer the panel. It wasn't that you got much more than this one, but it was just set out nicer, and our quality was nicer than this one.
So I should go application window, or
yeah, go out. If it's in another page, do application window.
okay. Give me 1 second. I'll make it into another page.
I suppose what happens is you just have to see what happens. Because sometimes people have problems because they're doing this, and what it is you. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now I'm going to go full screen. So you see the full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play this, and then stop me if you got questions. All right.
Well, should we play it? All right, I'll try and I'll write some things down.
You want me to just play the whole thing through?
Well, stop it where you think that there's
feel
a question.
feel free if you say I don't understand that. That's what I really need.
Well, stop it every minute or so. Every minute.
Okay, here it goes. So I should probably mute myself then, right, to make it.
If you mute yourself, you'll mute you'll mute the video.
Okay, I'll let her go then. Welcome. The intent of this video is to share knowledge about who yourself is. The phenomenal thinking of I am, or who am I? Before this starts, special thanks to Ken Wheeler and Dr. A.K. Kumaraswamy. There's much to learn in that yourself is not what self is. This sounds deep, but in fact, it's more simple than you think. Let's start with these 2 images from the ancients. The one on the left depicts a horse, or a being that is in need of calming. The one on the right is a horse or being that is calm. Let's zoom in on the image on the left. Let's look a bit deeper into the calm one on the left. First, you'll notice that there's a white horse and a black horse. And I'm sorry, there's an edit there. This is the not calm horse. A yang, which is the white horse, and a yin, which is the black horse. White implies material, and black implies spiritual. Now you have to imagine that you are the horses. Ready? This is the psychophysical you, or what the ancients called anatma, or not the self. This is the self in manifestation, a mirror. Now you will notice the taut reins, which are controlling the not calm you. The reins are symbolic of your senses. If you're using your senses for material needs and not spiritual growth, then you are out of control and you will be under karmic sufferings. Now notice the little arrow. The arrow means karmic infinite rebirths until you get it right. Let's now look at the image on the right, the calm one. First you will notice that the white horse is barely visible and the horses are calm. Your spirit is overthrowing your materialistic wants. The loose reins imply that you are being given slack. You are using your senses correctly. Next, you will see an Arahat guide. The Arahat guide is one who has knowledge and wisdom. The Arahat will teach you and show you the way. You'll also notice in this image that there is a leopard. The leopard who can see the way guides you and the Arahat. How you will know they are guiding you? By listening to your senses. Animals, insects, humans, they will all guide you. You just have to be in tune. Even when someone who's out of tune may guide you without you even knowing it, or them knowing it. Example, slowing you down while you are driving. This brings us. Any questions thus far?
I realised something, Claudio, that there's a little bit of a time delay between you and me, by the way, just to let you know that.
Okay.
No, carry on.
Okay, so are you getting what I'm saying here? Like the yin yang, we have a spiritual self and a spiritual part of us and a material part of us.
Right. Yeah, I do.
Right. So the guy on the left, the one that is controlling us, and you're going to see later on, it's going to be the same person or same energy. Is that the yin and the yang, and when our materialistic views get out of line, that's when we can be taken out. In other words,
in these pictures that they draw for this kind of stuff, and this is what you're taking from it, is it written as well, or is it just through drawings?
well, it's drawings, and then everybody has to try to figure out what they mean. But when you have the premise of what the ancients taught, then it becomes really simple to see what they're trying to impose. Because if you look, there is a white, which means material, the sun, right? So that means there's materialistic views. So that means if your materialistic gets out of hand, then the reins get pulled on you. And I'm actually following this in people's charts in astrology, and it just lines up and it makes sense. And I can actually watch people, I don't want to say the word suffer, but not feeling good because they're out of tune. And when you in order to be in tune, in order to be healthy, you got to know this stuff, right? So that's why the one on the right, the horse is being led. The air hat means somebody. Like, so for me, I'm the horses, right? You know that we have a left brain, right brain, right? We have North Pole, South Pole, blah, 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 right? That's the yin and the yang. One is in tune with the sun and one is in tune with the moon. The sun is materialistic, makes things grow, and the moon makes us feel inward.
Right. Another technical problem. Never mind. Had a nice chat with Claudio instead, and he's been talking to Patricia. Night and day, yin and yang, fierce and calm.
Right. And then I was starting to say why do I get to know these things? And I was talking about, I'm not sure where it left off, but being woken up and going to see a raccoon who then left and came back. And then he's sitting there like a cat stance facing the back of the property. And then I look up and Mama Moon is there, brightly shining. And the sky totally cleared up. And then clouds would pass by in the shape of astrology zodiac signs. Like I can remember at least 8 to 10, I know there's 12 of them, but one after another were passing by me in the sky. It is like 3, 4 in the morning. Like it's crazy. So I get woken up all the time, go outside. That's why we're becoming night people, to your point, Karen, is because we're supposed to look up in the sky. That's the Bible. The Bible is a story.
I just find it crazy that because some of us work, and I think also the other reason that somehow you end up doing more at night is it becomes quieter. So even if you don't think you hear it, when it's dead quiet, you can concentrate the best.
100%. Don't forget, the sun is outward, man.
It's crazy. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're exhausted, but in another way, you're concentrating the best. And I don't know. I've just turned into a night person. I never go to bed. You know, I'm struggling to go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have to because I go to work.
Right, but you got to understand sometimes you're up at night because you're supposed to be outside and taking a look because there's so many messages in the sky. It's crazy.
I see them all as a bunch of arrows going around up there, the stars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'll just continue on with the video, right? So we know that there's a difference.
While it's working, go for it.
Right. Then we know there's a difference between the left-hand side. In other words, materialistic can really, 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 really put you on off the beaten path. Whereas on the right-hand side, the Arahat guide to me is like a Ken Wheeler who's teaching me the ancient methods of what this whole thing is about, right? So I'll just continue the video now. To the self, the Atman who is holding the reins. This is where you'll hear the definitions such as God, universal force, principle, beginningless, the absolute, the one. But this is not a being as we think. The absolute cannot be materialistic. A quote from Ken Wheeler's book, The Indefinite Dyad, Plotinus, Metaphysics, and Mysticism. The one, the absolute, may be thought of conventionally as principle and attribute, both of which together spell as if it were the one. For the one cannot, does not, may not stay in itself, but radiates its goodness outwards such that it is in nature, as it is in its activity. To deny same is to deny the one altogether, to negate the very definition of the one. One carries with it no fault for embodiment, for the one is neither sentient nor being, but rather the principle behind being. Suffice to mention that one cannot be being. As such, God is to blame, cannot come to pass, for the one is not being. Clear? If not, it will come clear with time. Moving on, we will further look at each one of these images as it relates to your journey or path. So we're going to start with the not right path. You will notice that all the psychophysical beings are going in a different direction, bumping into each other, going into all kinds of different directions. And what this does causes separation, feeling of loss, confusion, incohesive, wanting, materialistic, ignorant, eternal rebirths, karmic suffering, and not in tune with your senses. Moving over to the right path, as you can see, all beings are moving towards one common point, one common goal, the point in the middle. This is true in physics, and it's true in metaphysics. Like a magnet, like the law of attraction, all to one common point and goal. This means all beings are in tune with their senses. There's togetherness, there's cohesiveness, knowing, wisdom, and ascension from eternal rebirths. Note that the absolute, the Atman, or self, holds the reins for each and every one of us. We all have the same self, which is the absolute, one love. So, are you seeing self in what is not self? Atman? Do you get it? What do you want now? Peace, cheers. So, looking at this whole image, this image is, and it totally aligns with magnetism. If you watch Ken and you put a magnet under the Pharaoh cell, you'll see the hole in the middle, the black hole, the ether, where we're all supposed to go. That's cohesiveness. If everybody's on the right path, it's like a magnet.
So basically, we give out energy, don't we? You know, if you're sitting there and everything is inside yourself and you're negative, the energy is going in and down and it's not good. When your energy is flowing out, you're much happier. But then your happier state, happier mind, and the energy flows out of you. Always out. That's why, you know, if you start lifting your hands and doing your chakras, it's all up, up, and out.
Okay, so you are exactly right with what you're saying, but you have to reverse it. Because in manifest means we're outward, we're materialistic. It's the inner self that we got to tune ourselves into. Because that's where we're going to go, inward. NASA and all those people got us believing in outwardness. That's loss of energy. Every time we move, we're using energy. Now, you can still feel good by being in tune with being inward and outward. We got to understand the differences. When you don't feel good is because we are trying so hard in the material world to do things and continuously do materialistic things. That's where we lose our energies.
Yeah, well, you're talking about like being in tune as well, aren't you? We're talking about different things, really. Well, the same thing and also different, because being in tune.
Right. So, but that's the part. That's the part when you get into metaphysics. That's where the part becomes confusing, and that we've been taught backwards. Hence why I'm making these videos. Just like everything else that we've been taught is backwards, right? We're actually living within a sphere, and that's why I don't like to call it flat Earth, because it's hard for people to comprehend a pancake falling
I've got a tarot deck card, right? It looks a bit like the horse on the left, but it would have been two horses, and the person would have been holding the reins, like, oh, these horses are jumping up in the air. It's a bit like that card explaining that you are half animal and half man. You know, at times the animal side comes out, but you need to harness the animal side.
Right, and that's what's happening over here. But if see the guy that's holding the arrow, the bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's our collective consciousness. That's our soul.
In astrology, it's good to have it as long as you know how to harness it, rather than it's a wildness that you can't control, or one that you can.
Right, and
for the right reasons. So sometimes being angry isn't wrong. It's good. It's positive. It can be really positive. It's when you don't know what you're doing is the problem.
see, I agree. Yes.
Oh, phew. Sorry, carry on.
No, you are right. The thing is that we got to understand that we're all being controlled by the same puppeteer, and that's the
Do you know the thing that's missing though in all this? It isn't really, well, it is about your stuff. Is that because there seems to be a generational problem with what we're going through. We're not the first generation that have been trying to mind control, and our parents, it's even worse. But in it all, it's a bit like we almost need to have school again, but how they teach us to grow vegetables. Like we seem to have lost these most ornate things to look after ourselves.
It's so simple. Isn't it invigorating to know that the same yin, the exact same yin is in every one of us?
We need this. Obviously, it's the school because the parents can't do it. We don't teach our children about. I did. Mine used to find it crazy because in their world people didn't. So I looked the odd one out. But you know, I felt that my children could grow up knowing who they were. You know, they weren't. They were like equals to me in a way. I was still the mother and looking after them and in control like that, but they were allowed to be themselves and understand some of their feelings, because that's the other thing that nobody can do, because my parents didn't teach me. All I could see was my dad was angry. He could never explain his feelings. He never could express himself. And that's where we've come from. So this whole thing where we've been enlightened, it's not been for a really long time. And maybe now is where the people are starting to change into what everybody thinks and wants as Eden and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we've ever had it, and we haven't had it for hundreds of years. And all these people have been instilled with all this other stuff. But the one thing that's missing, where you're getting to, is understanding yourself, understanding your feelings. This is what we're not, our parents, some people are going to be lucky and get that parent who really did do all the things they were supposed to do. But probably 95% of us didn't. And there's usually some horrible things that have happened to you as a kid. And you've got to know who your inner child is.
Yes, but so the thing is what I'm trying to tell you, and you're saying all the right things. So that charioteer is the same.
What I'm saying is all your stuff is brilliant when you've understood about all those bits, those kind of bits, the psychology bit. I have to do it as sort of as a psychology thing. Maybe everybody gets there in their own words, in their own way. But you've got to understand all that to understand what you're talking about.
Again, and what I'm about to say is that charioteer is the Christ within. That's what the Bible was teaching about. The Bible mistranslated, if you look back into metaphysics and all these guys, they've mistranslated the Bible. And what the whole Bible is about is your journey as a Jesus. Okay, it's about you. It's not about a literary Jesus. It's about you, and you have this Christ within, which is the self. We all have the same charioteer within us. The yin part of us is the exact same yin. Our yang, the G, means the G is a seventh letter, which is the sun with 7 colors of the rainbow. The G, that's why the yang is your ability to make choices. That's why.
Do you know something though? I have to say, Claudio, you've put so many words in there. I bet you lots of people wouldn't even. It's not that they don't understand any of those words you've written, but when people try to explain themselves or explain things, I wonder how many people use that many words. There's so many things going on.
Right. That's why I'm trying to bring it here. So what I'm trying to say is, we all know we have a left brain and a right brain, right? That's easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's probably a good percentage of people that understand that the right brain controls the left side, which is more spiritual. So what I'm trying to say to you, that right brain is the self, is the yin, is the Christ within, and it's the exact same in every one of us. That's the collective consciousness. The other brain, the other side, is the one that gives us choices, that we can take materialistic choices. That's the yang. That's the sun. That's materialistic choices. That's manifestation. You got choice. Make sure you use the right one, or else when you don't choose the right one, you come back for infinite rebirths. That's what Buddhism was all about. That's what the Egyptians were all writing about. It's all in ancient texts. And Ken is able to translate them. He's one of the only guys here. And of course, the Kumaraswamy is one of the guys that Ken learned from, that says all the same things. So hence why I want to put this video out, because this becomes our part of our trying to get together. Hey, one love. Jamaicans said it, one love. That is the one love. The one, the absolute. That is the yin in every one of us. Half of us is shared amongst all of us and is the soul. The other half of us is the one that gives us choice, and hence why we're able to go down the not right path.
Do you know another few words to put in it? Know yourself, see yourself, accept yourself, and be yourself.
Right.
If you could start doing some of those things, then all this there, what you're talking about, it's the same thing, just in other words.
We're just a mirror of the self. The self is the one that is shared in every one of us and is a common self. And that got construed into the word God. But God, if you take the G and a D, that's magnetism. It's a yin and a yang. The G-O-D is the yin and the yang. So one, the circle, is infinite. There's no beginning. There's no end. We are eternal. That's what they're trying to teach us. Like, there's no reason not to think this. The reason when we don't want to go there is like, well, now you're going to go and you're going to subdue yourself to somebody that's going to enslave you and think you only got one life. But no, you have infinite rebirths until you get it right. And
when they wrote this, do you think they had a life like ours at all? You know, like, I'm not saying that they would have been sitting down watching the football, but do you think that they would have worried about all the things that are put for us?
Who's they?
Well, the people who made these drawings.
Yeah, no, these are people that trying. So here's the thing, until we all get it right, we just keep coming back. So number one, knowing that you're infinite and you keep coming back with karma, by the way. So if you're not,
that's sometimes you have to be careful, because say you say, oh, I don't like it because that person did that to me, and then you find out that it ends up happening the other way around once you voice it.
Right. We witness karma as we're here. Now you come back, infinite rebirths until we get it right, and that's why we're coming out of the dark ages. And Persephone is coming into your head in one of the other videos I'm going to show.
Can I just say, we have probably got about another 20 minutes, right? But I also I hope you don't mind. I don't want to move on too much, because what you're talking about is really big and important in this video.
Yeah, I know. But because where we were going, I thought I'd just say this prefaces a lot.
But that's okay, Claudio, because we can have you to come back.
Yeah,
because it's stages, isn't it?
We'll just stick right here. But people, if they want to go and look at the other videos that I've done, and please ask questions, because this is not me. This is from other people that have guided me. This is from spiritual experiences, epiphanies. I mean, I even saw a wondrous, beautiful shape of Persephone in the clouds. I ran inside the house to look. Of course, I did my intentions, and gave great gratitude that she showed up in the clouds. And this, I'm not making this stuff up. And then when I go inside, it's Eris. Eris was right there behind the clouds, which is Persephone, which is the Madonna, which is the queen of the underworld and all these things. All the different people that all the ancients have talked about, she's coming into our heads. Like, she does a 560-year journey around the zodiac. She's in Pisces right now. She came for a brief little visit, and now she's coming direct on May 12th. I really wanted to show you that, hopefully before January 12th. I want to show you that video. People can go look at it. It's on my YouTube page.
Yeah, well, when we finish this one, we'll just arrange the next one. But sometimes it's good to give people it in bits, because if you went through them all, it's so much information. question.
I'm
So
with
you've
you.
you know where you are, and
I'm with
so you're already on. We're on video 1, and you're probably on video 20.
No, I get it, but it really, when you start looking at it, you gotta really do some soul searching, so to speak. Understanding yourself is not what self is. We're just a mirror of the one, the all, the love, the God, whatever you want to call it. We're a mirror of them, which sounds familiar from the Bible, right? We are the mirror, but we've given choice. And we've been not, Mama's gone away for a while. We've coming out of the dark ages. The light's starting to shine on us again. And so
There's 2 things. Can I ask? First of all, Patricia hasn't said anything. I just wondered what her opinion was on it. And the second thing is, if we're in touch, if you're get in touch with yourself, then there's the Ethernet, and then you can feel everybody else's feelings as well, or generally how the place feels around you.
Right. Okay, so have you ever thought of somebody and they call?
Yeah, or they've written you a message next. Yeah, quite often.
Right.
I know when people like me and don't like me, but Patricia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you make of all that then, my darling?
Well, yeah.
I know it seems like a lot, but the whole thing, yeah.
It makes sense, but I just don't know. When you say it's a mirror, because I don't want to sound big-headed about, but the right path is what I feel I'm on. I've got a fine balance sort of thing between materialistic things and love.
Perfect.
I use materialistic things to prove, well, not to prove, but to give love with, because other people like materialistic things.
Yep.
But I suppose it's still materialistic, but I make things, what I've got, make them in the name of that person and give it to them with all my love and the blood, sweat and tears that it's taken me. You don't know the half of it, but that's how I do things. So I'm like, so what, when you say the mirror then, have I got to be the opposite of that then, or
no. I'm saying our psychophysical being, our ontological self, is a mirror of our true self, which would be the one that is, I don't want to say godlike, but etheric. So the yin that's our collective consciousness, if you want to call it, the yin that's in every one of us, it's the exact same one. We are supposed to be a mirror of that. We're supposed to be a mirror of that. I'm going to use the word perfect, right? But we're supposed to be a mirror of that one love. So we're a mirror of that in this physical form, is what this is saying. Right? You're doing things with love. You're doing it right. You're on the right path. This is not saying that you're not on the right path. No, this is painting a picture of all those people that are chasing the false idol called money. That's a false idol. Our wisdom and knowledge is to be about that we do have a collective.
Yeah, and to remember stuff like this, to remember it.
Right. It's knowing that there is a one Christ within, a one yin within, a collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It's in each and every one of us, and it's the same. We can communicate with it. We are all one. That's why people are starting to look familiar to us. Like I get all these deja vus now because we really are one. But because we've been in the dark ages and we've done a whole lot of things off on our own, more materialistic than it was spiritual. So this mirror that I'm talking about is not, we are not the true self. We're this ontological self. We're this materialistic self. But of course, in us is the true self.
Can I say something, Claudio? Something different? Something's happening right now where I'm not just probably the only one doing it, but by slowing this footage down and looking at things, I can see things. But you're right, because that thing that you're talking about has helped me see that other people are deep faked into other people.
Right. We're all being guided to get there. We're all going to do it in different
ways. Not for a good thing, though, because it's showing that people are deep faked. But it's showing me that way because some people go, how do you see it? How do you do it? I don't know. I can just see it.
Right. So why am I being waken up by the luminaries? Why are you being waken
Well, I
up?
did say
Oh,
that
shit.
to you before we came on with that Nancy with that patch on her nose. Like, who would want to put that out if something's not happening? I mean, either the AI or someone is trying to help us because, you know, you've only, you know, the more people that realise that, you know, she's glitching, she's got this patch on her nose, like, who would want to put that out without proofing it properly? I'll be that stupid, or have they got that much past us that really this has been happening for a while, but we just haven't seen it because we're not looking for it because we don't realise everybody's looking at it thinking it's real.
Right. So don't forget, those lost souls have the same yin in them. And they're being guided with them knowing to make these errors because karma's coming. Mama Karma's just around the corner, and it's in one of my videos. And it's very invigorating and intriguing. And this ain't mumbo jumbo. You can, like, I just know it's true because I've been guided to it. I'm getting apparitions. And like I'm not special. Everybody can get them.
You
You're
quite
getting
like
apparitions.
astrology as well, don't you, as your path as well, and other people and other workings, don't you, as well?
Well,
So
the Bible is all about the stars. St. John the Baptist is Aquarius. And we're all getting baptized right now. People don't even realize we're being baptized. That's the flood. The major pole shift is Eris or Persephone, Madonna, coming into Aries. She hasn't been in our head for over 560 years. It's coming, and people don't even know it. They don't even follow that. It's crazy. Western astrology is off by 23 degrees. That's why they can't predict anything. I'm predicting major weather. I got the when all figured out.
do you know what I think as well? It's like I've just been noticing things. It's like we're a month out.
We are a month out.
But the thing is that it wouldn't take that many years to get a month out. Is that why you think the reset's coming? Because the month out is beginning to show itself. And once these
100%.
things happen, there's something has to change to make us not realise all the people who are left. Because if
100%.
say you have a catastrophe, no one's really going to be worrying what month of the year it is. They're going to be trying to sort themselves out.
Right. And none of the astrologers that follow, they follow tropical, and the ones that follow what's actually in the sky. Like when I was learning astrology, somebody told me that the moon is in Libra. I go outside, I got my iPad, I go up there, I says the moon is in Virgo. And they said, what are you doing looking in the sky? I said, what do you mean? Well, we don't look in the sky. That's off. What? But the moon is in the constellation Virgo. And they're saying, no, you can't look at it that way.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Those people believe in
Yeah,
space and spaceships, right?
I
But
said,
they don't even want to look up, and they say, well, how ridiculous it is looking up at all the sky. And yet those people believe we've gone to the moon and that we're in space.
right. So if I shine a flashlight directly into your eyes, are you going to squint? Yes. If I shine a flashlight 20 degrees off, are you going to squint? No. So the luminaries look at, that's our DNA. Your birth chart is your DNA. That's where all the luminaries were. I predicted this stomach issue that I'm going through right now from my chart. Now that's some of the things that I started learning from Santos. But then I went and looked when I had major bowel surgery when I was 23 years old, and I seen the similarity of that one to this one coming. I predicted 9 months ago that I'd be in this, and it's happening. So what do you do when you know it happens? Well, you got to go get the right plant. When the planet is causing your organ, which is a vibration, organs, vibrations, when a planet is causing issues, you got to go eat a plant. It's so simple, it's invigorating. And all the ancients knew this stuff. But we're too busy in our materialistic yang lives that we don't look at the yin part of us that's trying to talk to us and wake us up in the middle of the night and get us to start looking at our chart. Doctors go look
something. This is sort of combined into your stuff. I'm not saying you probably need a bit of a balance of this, but I say to people sometimes, like, well, where do you live? Do you live inside out or outside in?
Right. No, it's 100%. What you're saying is 100% on key. It's on key. But because they had us living on the outside of a ball, we're looking at expanse for the answers. No, we're inside a cosmic egg. And until we all get it right, we're not going to hatch. We'll just keep coming back.
The thing is, though, if only the people knew that 24 hours a day they're bombarded with a bunch of lies.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people that were stuck in the dark ages, and people say, I know what's right, and a whole bunch of people follow them, right?
And, you know, we don't even know what they're doing with that frequency thing. They say they've set it and it's a peaceful one. All they've got to do is move it a bit and it becomes hell, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're just, it's because it's waves in the air.
Look, I go back to the Led Zeppelin song, right? Your head is humming and you don't know, right? The piper's calling you to join him. My ears are ringing my head, and I get all these really sharp noises that go in deep in my brain. I know what's happening. It's being lit up. And people are trying to give credit to, in the last video that I just put out yesterday, people are trying to give.
Also, though, you know, the one thing is people don't think. No one wants to be responsible for themselves, and people don't think.
Right, but don't give the government credit for what's happening in the sky. Our charts are being lit up based on where everything is in your chart. So everybody's getting lit up at different times. That's where pharmaceuticals make their money. Kathy's done it. I said, Kathy, write it out. It's going to be gone in 2 weeks. She writes it out and it's gone in 2 weeks. Most people run and go get pills. Now you're going to be sick for a month or 2 months or 3 months.
I tell you what, it is really bad. I've got a cold and I went to see the doctor. I mean, a cold gets you to the doctor, and then you've got all these long waiting lists because people don't even want to just sit out an illness that's going to be there for a few days.
If you got a cold,
I'm not saying it's very nice. These things are horrible, these viruses, but you can't, like, everybody's running at the moment.
They're not viruses, though. They're not viruses. They're cleansings. From all the crap we're eating, your body goes through a cleanse. It's in your astrological chart, okay? So if you're getting a cold, your body is trying to get rid of all the glyphosates, Roundup that's in all the food. I'm at a point now where I eat so clean. If I go to a restaurant and I eat, I phlegm up like I have a cold, and within 20 minutes, it's gone and I breathe clear. My body's instantly getting rid of the poisons that's in the food. If you're not in tune with your body, it builds up. And then there's a certain astrological event that happens that says you need to purge. It's not a virus. They're lying. You're going through a purge, and the planets purge you. So all you got to do is eat clean, and you won't get as sick. The second thing you can do if you start getting sick is take raw organic ginger. Take a slice of that, put it in your mouth, it'll be gone within a day. Kathy and I do that religiously all the time. We give that to people, and it's gone. Don't go run for pharmaceuticals, because everything they're giving you is inorganic. It's made for profit. It is against alchemy, and it puts your body upside down and prolongs it. It will be gone eventually anyway, because it's a cleanse that the planets are doing for you. I'm proving it. I'm watching people go look at their charts and watching them. It's there in black and white. It's crazy. It's so simple. And
Claudio, can I say that we're running out of time now, because me and Patricia, no, I'm sorry, because it's so interesting. I just wondered for a few minutes if you'd like to sort of, I don't know, round up then. I know you've been sort of rounding up right now, but you've got like a few minutes. Is that all right? I feel awful. Do as you're told. We've got 5 minutes. I hate it.
No. It's okay, because I look at it this way. Everything happens for a reason. If there's somebody that's going to benefit from this, they're going to be attracted to it. I
think it's good just to do it in a section, because it's a lot to take in.
And I'm glad to do it that way. It's all good. No, I'm happy. I'm happy anytime that I get to.
We love you. Anyway, do you want to just say a few more words then about today, about the whole thing?
Yeah. I'd like to wrap up by saying that we got to go within, and the within is look to the sky and follow numerology, follow astrology, follow the right people, ask questions. There's so many people not doing it right, but their heart's in the right place. The astrologers have been following this. Every 72 years, things change, but we've been looking at it for so long that it kind of fits, but you're missing out on a lot of the things that are there in your chart that'll help you and know who you are. Doctors, they read your chart, right? But they used to read your natal chart. And that's what you need to be looking at. You need to look at your natal chart. You need to get to know yourself, your ontological self, and your spiritual self. So with that, just know that everything happens for a reason, and don't give government credit.
Do you know the one good thing about it is there's not loads of them, so it's one person. It is yourself. Do you understand what I mean? Most things that they're telling us, they don't want us to be individual. We've got to be part of the pack or in line or whatever you want to call it. So that's showing you as an individual. I'm pleased about that.
Right, we're individuals, but know that we're connected, and that collective consciousness is going to get a huge download, so to speak, in January.
Cool. Well, we'll arrange another hangout before then, Claudio, if you get to the next bit, or whichever bit you want to do next, because we were doing a different video, and then I said something, and then it sort of led to you, oh, right, I'm changing my my mind. Patricia, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, fascinating as always, Claudio. Sometimes you've just got to listen to it, meditate on it a little bit, and then try and, because the thing with all this information is we have to try and put it into our own lives and ourselves. And sometimes it's like you get too much information from different sources, and you've just got to try and put all the pieces together. But that video is part of the piece for me that I need to slot in with the other bits of information. But yeah, it's great. Thank you, Claudio. And
carry on, Patricia.
No,
carry on.
Well,
I was just going to say, it sounds like I'm rushing and getting rid of Claudio. We do have to go somewhere else, but we were actually here for longer. It's just I got another technical problem, which wasted about 20 minutes, half an hour of my computer freezing and having to get back on the Hangout so I could record it. So please don't think we're scooting him off. We've been talking now, well, I suppose an hour and a half, isn't it? It's an hour and a half, yeah, our time together. But I really appreciate it because I love it when people try and explain things to people. You know, I love it because, like I've just said, most of us don't know what our feelings are. We haven't even been explained it. People don't, they're acting with their emotions and feelings, but they don't even know what they are. So, you know, your videos is a great way of explaining it to them.
Hey, if I can help one person, that's invigorating.
And also, thank you very much for the bit at the beginning, you know, so that Amy can hear that.
Anytime.
And yeah, there's a bit of noise coming now. Anyway, for this hangout, we're going to end, but we're not ending. It's a pause button because Claudio's going to come back and do another video very shortly. Thank you so much. So we'll say goodbye off air, and to everybody who's listened. And I hope that explains things for you. And of course, hopefully Claudio will be in the chat room, so he'll have maybe been answering questions. But Patricia, Claudio, and chat room.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.